Good evening, Michael Walsh with Roger Norgel here. Welcome to Norwal Farm. This video is an update on our sheep flock. We've had some happenings and some testing and things going on, so we thought we'd bring you up to date. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, ring the notification bell, and hit the like button. Also, if you would please leave us a comment and share this video with a friend. Once again, thank you for joining us at Norwal Farm. Friday, February the 20th, still no baby goats. Weather is transitioning. It was in the 40s yesterday. Wednesday night and last night we had quite a bit of rain. We got a half an inch of rain last night. It's in the 30s right now, probably 34 with snow flurries. I put some fresh bedding in for the lambs. It's cold and it's damp, so they need a nice warm dry place to lay down. If you can see back there in the creep pen, there's a couple of lambs in there eating now. So they are eating about a quarter a pound of grain per head per day, which is pretty good. And they're eating the hay really well. We ran out of baleage, so the ewes are on the large bale alfalfa hay, and they're eating it really well. Also transitioned the, I'm going to call them fat lambs now, the October group. Transitioned them onto this large bale alfalfa hay, and they're eating it well too. It's not as high in protein as the small alfalfa bales, and I'm reserving that for the young lambs. They need a higher protein, a little higher digestibility than what the older lambs and ewes do. So everything's going well, and we're just still on baby watch for the goats. The lame lamb right there, I thought he was kind of gimping. See or so ago. That one right there. It's kind of late for joint health. I gave an antibiotic injection. If it is joint ill, that should take care of it. We had to add to our creep station because there's 26 lambs down here. So I put that solid piece of plywood across there so the ewes can't reach through. Put another trough here. And then we still have those two troughs over there because just wasn't enough space for all the lambs. But they're eating quite a bit of grain. They're going through probably 15 pounds of grain a day, so which is good. They're about that age where they should be starting to eat a lot more. This lamb is from the January group. It's about a month old, and it's one I suspected joint ill and or vitamin E selenium. However, I brought him up to the barn because he was just laying out flat. It's cold out there, so brought him up here. He was thirsty. I gave him 1 ounce of propylene glycol. Hopefully that will help him. He's ruminating, so he should be able to process that. He was thirsty. He drank some water on his own. He's nibbling on some hay, and I gave him vitamin B complex. There's a chance it could be polio encephalomalacia. That's sometimes it's a thiamine deficiency when they're on a high grain diet. Sometimes the bacteria shift and they don't produce enough thiamine. Also, you see it with weather changes, and we had a weather change here, so I don't know what's going on with him. I guess I'm doing the shotgun treatment. None of that will hurt him, and just had to get him in all the elements, and it's encouraging that he's eating hay, so we'll keep drenching him with water, and he drank a little water on his own. Of course, he's still on the ewe and getting milk, so I gave him 8 ounces of milk replacer to keep that nutrient source there. So we'll see how he does. 50-50 chance. I'm not sure he's going to make it, but as they say, we'll give it the good old college try. It's Friday afternoon, the 27th of February, and we've been working with this guy. Today's the third day. He's actually drinking water from a pan. He's been eating a little hay, a little bit of grain, ate some mineral, and I just offered him some milk replacer because he was still in the ewe. And he probably drank 4 ounces of that, and that was after he had already drank some water. So I'm going to continue to mix up milk replacer for him and offer that first, probably about 8 ounces. And then if he drinks that, then we'll give him water until he's full. Muscle movement's not a whole lot better, but he's brighter in the eyes and attitude, holding his head up. And we'll see how the muscle coordination comes. He really, I'm thinking it's a vitamin E selenium deficiency. So as long as he continues to eat and drink, we're going to work with him. But he is drinking on his own. He's alert with his eyes. He's watching my hand there. So he has better mental presence than he did yesterday. Saturday, February 28th, and lamb's not as good today. I did tube it with, or drench it with some milk replacer this morning. Gave it another injection of B vitamins. Not drinking anything today on its own, and it really hasn't tried to eat much. Offered it some water tonight, not drinking, so I don't know. I've got a little muscular movement in the hind legs. Can't stand even with assistance, but we'll see what happens. I still have my doubts when it's going to survive, but we'll see what happens. Give it another day. I had made the mistake of leaving the hose on in cold weather, and this hydrant froze, but today we have water. It's supposed to get to nearly 50 degrees with the sun shining on it. It thawed it out, so that was a welcome relief this morning. Noticed a lamb in here. It's right over there, the one with the dark stool around its tail there, next to the wire fence. It's eating okay, acting all right otherwise. I suspect it may have eaten too much grain. I've probably been feeding them too much. I've just been keeping their trough full. Yeah, and I shouldn't do that. So I'm going to cut them back to about 1/3 of a pound per head per day, which would be 8 pounds total for the group. Split that morning and night. But I just think he probably ate a little bit too much grain. I don't think it's coccidiosis. We have increased the medication in the feed, and earlier this morning it was kind of a brownish stool around the tail. And usually coccidia is really green. So anyway, I'll just keep an eye on him. Today's just the first day I noticed him, and like I said, he was eating hay, and he's up there eating minerals, so I think it's probably just a touch of a bit too much. Sunday, March the 1st, lambs are doing well. I've limited their grain consumption to about 8 to 9 pounds a day. It's about 1/3 of a pound per head per day. And I just put it in there. It was all gone from last night. And you see they're in there eating away. This big black lamb, that was, if you remember, that was Patsy's, one of her twins. She didn't have milk when she lambed, and she has come to her milk, and they seem to be doing okay. Plus, they're really eating grain and hay really well. They're going through about, maybe 2 slabs of hay a day. So they're off to a really good start. We've got quite a spread on ages here, anywhere from 7 weeks to about 3 weeks, 2.5. The 2 black lambs up there, those are pearls. They're doing okay. They're just a different body structure, so they're doing fine. The lamb that had the soft stool is right here, and it's doing fine. No treatment. So a couple options. One, maybe it got too much grain. The other option is maybe it's just a little breakthrough coccidia. We did increase the level of the medication in the feed. It's called a coccidiostat. It is supposed to reduce the development or presence of coccidia in a flock. And hopefully, knock on wood, it's working, because I don't see anybody else that are showing any signs. The lamb in the barn, we did euthanize it because it just wasn't responding. And I don't know what was wrong with it. Number of possibilities, but nobody else is having an issue, so I'm not going to have a post-mortem done on it we'll just chalk it up to it's one of those things and keep going. But these ewes are doing well. We're going to wean when the youngest lambs are about 8 weeks old. So the older lambs will be older than what I like, but that's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. That's the advantage of doing the synchronized breeding with the cedar inserts. You get the whole crop within 2 or 3 days so that they're uniform in age and you can wean and do all those sorts of things at one time. But these lambs, for the most part, are doing pretty good. As you can see, we've got a few brush piles. The one all the way down there on your left, we burnt that one, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. But these were the old scrub trees on the fence line and trees we took out where the run-in shed is. And it's been sitting there for now. This would be the 3rd year, so it's good and dry. We had a really big one here that we burnt yesterday. And it burnt really well. Those big stumps won't burn in logs. That was yesterday, the last day of February. And you could say February went out with a blaze. Because as you see, it got out on the wetlands. We thought it was, or I should say I thought it was. Roger didn't have any decision on that, or he did. But anyway, we thought it was wet enough, but the ground was frozen. And you can see down there, there's a lot of thatch out there. It was actually taller where the cattails were. So anyway, it had started out and it was kind of going in just like a V out that way. And so we had shovels down there, so we thought, well, we better go out and try to stop it because we didn't want it to get over to our neighbor's place because we got a lot of pine trees and buildings. And so the wind was out of the northwest. We thought it would blow it that direction, but it was more out of the west and it was going that way. So we were out there trying to put it out, and as soon as we get a little bit put out, more would start. So we called the fire department, and actually 2 volunteer fire departments came out. And by the time they got here, it was pretty good size. But fortunately, we got it all out, and those cattails, the thatch on top of the frozen ground, it was dry, and it just took off. It just barely got to our neighbors. There was a couple small pine trees, like right down there, where it did cross over underneath them, but I was up there helping him, and we got that out. So none of the trees caught fire, which we're so thankful for that. So learned a lesson there. In the future, we will call the sheriff's department and let them know that we're going to burn, and they put you on a list, and that way you're on a list, and if it happens to get out of control, then you let them know that. So we will probably call the fire department before we burn those, and just have them come out and help us out. So anyway, that was our excitement yesterday, and we said February went out with a blaze. Winter lambs are doing well. The oldest ones are a month old, that brown-faced one there, or 2 months old, I'm sorry. And the youngest ones are about a month old, that little white lamb right up there. So they're doing really well. Haven't weighed them yet. We won't weigh them until later, probably when we wean them. Just put fresh creep in there, and they are looking for it. It's always cleaned up morning and night. That's the lamb that had the soft stool that one day, but it's totally fine. So I'm thinking either a little grain overload or possibly just a little bit of breakthrough coccidia. It's about the right age, but none of the others are showing any signs. We did increase the medication in the feed, increase the level to prevent coccidia, so hopefully it's done the trick. Put in an additional water tank. This one holds 15 gallons. That's a 30 gallon there and then 15 over there. With the dry hay, they drink a lot more water as compared to the baleage, because the baleage has more moisture. However, the lambs are getting big enough now. They're 40 to 50 pounds probably. at least the heavier ones, that they're drinking quite a bit of water too. So I fill these tanks twice a day, and this morning when I came down, or yesterday, this big tank was nearly empty. So put an extra tank in because they need the water, and ewes are lactating well. So hopefully this keeps them where they need to be. We're going to be weaning lambs probably the middle of April, another 6 weeks. But everything so far, knock on wood, is doing well. We did lose the one lamb, but everybody else is doing well. I weighed this group of lambs yesterday, and I'm pleased with how they're doing. The highest lamb weighed 128, the lowest was 75, and that's the lamb that has a little bit of a bloating issue, but he's actually gaining okay. Most of the lambs are gaining 0.7 to 0.8 pounds per day, so let's say 3/4 of a pound per day, which is our goal. We're not feeding them or pushing them hard. At this rate, they're about 4.5 months old. First lambs will be ready to go end of April, 1st of May, and then they're pretty evenly distributed, just a few pounds, like 3-4 pounds separating the top one to the next one. So that will work out well with our marketing plan because we sell 2 lambs every 2 weeks. So I think they should gain okay. When we shear the ewes, the adult sheep, in April, the 26th, we're going to have these lambs shorn as well because they'll be going into hot weather, and we'll want them to be shorn so they continue to gain okay. But very pleased with the weights yesterday. It's been 56 days since we bred these back in January 5th and 6th. So we're going to blood test them today, check for pregnancy. To me, they look like they're pregnant, but I want to just check them for sure. There's a blood test that tells you if they're pregnant or not. You run it 35 days after breeding, and it picks up on the hormone, I believe, of the placenta that attaches. So we're going to run these through. They've got enough wool covering there on their neck that I'm going to have to just clip a little place on the side of the neck so I can see the vein. It takes 2 cc's of blood, get those drawn, and then we'll run those over to the lab tomorrow. Running them into the chute here one at a time, put a holder on them, tie them up high, and I'm going to shave along, just right along there. Jugular vein's right there, but I got to shave it so I can see it. Then we draw 2 cc's of blood out, put it in tube, and label and mark the tube. Just shaved a spot on the neck there, and I can feel the vein, and it's actually right there. You can kind of see it pulse a little bit. So that's where I will stick her and get the blood. Takes 2 cc's of blood, and it's tube number 1, and her ear tag is orange 01. And then there's a chart in the house that we have to put that on, and I'll show you that when we're done. This is the lab submission form for the blood test for pregnancy, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Left side is the blood tube number, then the animal ID, the ear tag number, her age, they're all females, and then the breed of each one. And then that Bioprin DPB is days post-breeding. They were bred basically on the same day, so they're 56 days post-breeding. So we're going to run those over today and hand deliver them, and we should have results possibly today or tomorrow. These are excellent blood results, or pregnancy results. They're all pregnant. They were all bred on the same day or two. So that's why they all have pretty much the same hormone level. So really pleased that we had 100% conception. It's a foggy, rainy day on March the 6th, and we're going to wrap this video up. These are the ewes that we pregnancy tested. I'm very pleased with their results. You can see the underline there, how it's just kind of sinking down. They're all pretty much doing that. You can't hardly see there, but the only one I questioned was the yearling Suffolk ewe. I think she's probably going to have a single, but very pleased with those results. They all came back pregnant. We chose not to ultrasound them this time. The first 2 times we have good total numbers, but the accuracy isn't quite there. It's only about 50% accurate. After the first year of that, the next year I just fed every one as if they were having twins or triplets, and that worked out well. So we'll do that this year. We'll just feed them all as if they're going to have twins or triplets, and that should work out okay. It saved us probably $250 just by doing the blood test rather than the ultrasound. So that'll be it for this video, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining us.